Alright guys, welcome back as always, and we're continuing our 10 things you didn't know about series, and today we are going balls deep into All Might. Don't take the wrong idea of that. Hit the notification bell just as always to be notified of all our videos, and let's cue the intro. This channel is partnered and sponsored by AnimeRiot.com. If you need My Hero Academia clothing, go check it out and go purchase it and use the discount code ABDSquad for 10% off your whole order. All Might's real name is Toshinori Yagi, and it contains the kanji for 8, tree, genius and law, where all of those words represent who he is. The most notable one is having the kanji for the number 8, as this was done intentionally with all of the One for All muses to represent their respective order of holding the power. In Yagi's case, he is the 8th muser of the quirk. For the other words like tree, genius and law, one could say All Might plants himself like a tree, which it could also be a reference to Captain America, who also has a famous quote regarding planting himself like a tree. All Might is also a genius when it comes to fighting, along with the fact that he represents ultimate justice of the law. So yes, either Kohei Horikoshi is simply a genius when it comes to naming his characters, or everything worked out by mere coincidence. Some of All Might's early designs have him as an older, more experienced figure. He also had less of a role in the story, being just a veteran hero who would encourage Deku to try and become a hero even if he didn't have a quirk. If you take a look at All Might's early designs, you can clearly see the resemblance from him and Captain America, for example, as well as his pointed hair feature actually being part of his costume, right? All Might's hair also has a very different design, which I personally don't really like. His costume had a belt with an icon and different strokes. In my opinion, I really love the design we have in the end. It really is an improvement from the earlier concepts. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. When Horikoshi, the creator of My Hero Academia, first created All Might's design and presented it to his editorial department, they responded by saying, "Who take up to this old guy? I don't want to be like him." And then they suggested to make All Might a pretty boy to appeal to fans. Surprisingly enough, they even stated things such as All Might being weird and too cheerful. However, due to these criticisms on All Might, Horikoshi said this only made him more eager and persistent with All Might being the way he is. In Horikoshi's own words, "For me personally, what makes a good design is when you just look at the person, you get a sense of what kind of character they are by the intuition." The creator of All Might also mentions that All Might's design on his eyes that glisten are specifically supposed to represent the true strength and dignity of the symbol of peace. Everything that his muscle form represents is condensed into those pupils of his. It can also be said that All Might's design and heavy shading are a nod to the golden age of superheroes from American comics. Like most shonen protagonists, All Might does have some influence from Dragon Ball's Goku. Horikoshi has stated during the Frieza arc, when Gohan and the others were losing to Frieza, Goku was late in joining the others, but whilst he was reading the manga, he always felt the idea that since it's Goku, he will definitely do something and be able to save the day. In his eyes, it was truly an experience whilst reading Dragon Ball, to the point where it gives him happiness. Horikoshi wanted to emulate this idea with All Might. All Might's "I am here" line was decided when the creator was reading Dragon Ball. After all, in Dragon Ball, when Goku comes to join the fight, everything will be okay. That's why he wanted to give this feeling to viewers to All Might. He will definitely save everyone, he will think of a way. That was the very image of a hero and what All Might is. In addition, All Might's signature moves are all named after states and cities in the United States, with the ultimate move being called United States of Smash. His costume colors are also based off the United States flag colors. Furthermore, Horikoshi has even mentioned himself that it was more of a callback to the older Superman, the Ultimate Existence. That's why he has that kind of character design. But the story is still set in Japan. I don't think it would be quite hit the mark if All Might was from the overseas and he wasn't Japanese. A single punch from All Might could not only defeat a villain, but completely change the weather shortly afterward. It also has the power to completely destroy several city blocks from the wind pressure it creates at its peak. Toshinori is also equally as impressive in speed. When he arrived at the USJ, All Might moved a remarkable distance from the gate and simultaneously incapacitated villains in the blink of an eye. Tomura even says that he was completely unable to track his movements despite the latter being slower than he once was because of his injury and he's not at his peak. He was also able to travel over 5 kilometers from the bar the League of Villains was in towards the hideout where All For One was in about 30 seconds. However, according to All For One, this was actually much slower than what All Might is capable of in his prime. So this question has become a favorite for fans to debate. I know they probably wouldn't fight if it came down to it, but if Superman and All Might had a fight with one another, who would win exactly? The creator of My Hero Academia actually responded to this question, and he said Superman because his laser eyes, they are Superman's biggest quirks. The difference between them is that the battle of quirks, laser eyes would win. But then Horikoshi ends the question by saying if All Might had that quirk though, and then it has a ... So we don't know what he's trying to imply here, so I guess for now we can just all agree that Superman is indeed stronger than All Might for now. All Might's stats in the data book are also all S tier. He has 6 out of 5 for every single category, and that is to put it into perspective of how overpowered he is. So knowing All Might, one would not expect that he had to use support items to help him as a hero, but that wasn't always the case. All Might stated that in the old days, back when he was a young man, he also tried support items, which even shocked Deku. But in his own words, he said, but even equipment that accommodated only 20 to 30% of power, it was too bulky. It might be beneficial for the mid to long range fighters, but for close range fighters like me, it would quickly break and become useless. So in the end, I chose not to use anything and fight with this body alone. That was such a bad impersonation. But anyway, so with that information, we know that All Might did more likely use support items during his early stages. And if we look at All Might's costume when he was younger, you can see that he was wearing heavy armored boots and open armed gauntlets. These could have possibly been the support items that he was talking about, which helps All Might distribute the force of his power. So we already mentioned how All Might displays his fondness for America, apart from the color of his costume and the name of his moves. All Might also went to study in America, but among the My Hero Academia community, fans have theorized that All Might himself is possibly half Japanese and American descent. More than likely his father was Japanese if we go by his name Toshinori Yagi, because he would pass that name on to his son. But because not much is known about All Might's family and parents, the speculation arises. Other reasons to support this fact is that All Might has blonde hair and blue eyes, of course, alluding that he's not entirely from Japan. Another hint was from Endeavor, as there is a moment where he quotes, "Why do we get stuck out here while the American gets to barge in?" Now in this translation may vary, but it comes along with those lines. All Might is also referred to as American man sometimes. So let me know what you think in the comments section below. I honestly do believe he might be half American and half Japanese. For the Japanese dub of the anime, All Might is voiced by Kente Miyake, who is also known for the voices of Muhammad Abdul from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. You definitely need to check it out. He also voices Scar from Fullmetal Alchemist, and he also voices Akira from Assassination Classroom, along with many other notable characters. He is pretty much a legend. For the English dub of the anime, All Might is also voiced by a legend known as Christopher Sabat. Yes, the same voice for Vegeta, Piccolo and half the other characters from the Dragon Ball series. In an interview with Yoshihiko Umakoshi, the anime director for My Hero Academia, when he was asked what was his first impression of Christopher Sabat's All Might's performance compared to Japan, he responded in his own words with, "When I heard him live next to me, speaking in All Might's voice, it really shook me to my heart. That shook me to the core. I knew it was All Might. It was the right voice." Personally, I would like to agree with that. My Hero Academia English dub isn't bad at all. It's definitely one of the best out there for anime, and you should definitely give it a chance. So we all know My Hero Academia has a movie, right? And you're probably wondering, is it canon or is it worth a watch? The thing is, yes, it's been confirmed 100% canon, which links with the manga, and it really is really good and you should check it out. The movie takes place after the final exams and before the school field trip. Horikoshi mentions how he wanted the movie to take place before All Might loses his powers, and the timing of when the story takes place was quite an easy decision for him. He wanted various fans, and for those who are not familiar with My Hero Academia, to watch a story where they can easily understand the types of elements that surrounds the anime. Thus, the main characters for the movie were decided to be All Might and Deku, much like how the first episode of My Hero Academia was as well. The creator of My Hero Academia felt as though it was an opportunity to finally talk about All Might's past, since he always had the idea of having All Might study abroad in America, but it was never implemented into the manga yet. In his own words, he states, "I thought that I definitely need to write about his past. In the movie, the young All Might is shown studying abroad in America, and I thought this might not be something that I could be brought up anymore in the manga and from the story that is being told right now. So the movie ties in with the manga and is joined together, so that basically means us fans, we need to go goddamn watch it." Alright, so with the actual anime, All Might has a huge following and is probably the most popular person in the whole of Japan. But when it comes to the real world, for All Might's rankings in the popularity polls, he placed 5th, but later for 2nd poll, All Might got pushed down to 6th rank, and in the 3rd poll, All Might rankings slipped down again to 7th place. Unfortunately, it seems as though his popularity will only go down from here due to his loss of power, but one thing for sure is that All Might has sparked a shit ton of memes, guys, and they are really funny. I love this guy. All Might sparked the Plus Ultra meme, being one of the ones that everyone knows about. He did the Eat This meme and the no reaction when Bakugo gets captured. This is just naming just a few memes he has. Here is a small compilation, and I'll put the links in the description.
Well, it has been said that I'm a gentleman, but never a gentleman. Can I accompany you on your journey?
Sure. I've got to get Scruffy back to my boyfriend and then
Fuck you.
Hello, 911 emergency. There's a handsome guy in my house. Oh, wait a second, cancel that. It's only me. I am gonna hit a homer today. These here doggy treats should show her that I love animals. Chicks dig that. Pardon me, hot, sexy mama. If you'd please to take a look at my studly bod, then I may have the pleasure of you wanting to be my #1 main squeeze.
How many times do I have to tell you I have a boyfriend?
Well, you look like the kind of girl that could use two.
Not only this, but All Might has a real-life moon named after him. According to the forms from the Windowpane Observatory, the All Might galaxy is located in the constellation of Perseus, approximately 204 million light years from Earth. The galaxy's scientific name is IC-313. Los Angeles-based Twitter user and the My Hero Academia fan _AllMight purchased this galaxy in All Might's honor, and the paperwork was actually presented to the manga creator Kohei Horikoshi himself in the Comic-Con, and I guess he must have appreciated it. Alright guys, it's time for Blazing Round, keep up with me. All Might's birthday is on the 10th of June, giving him the zodiac sign of Gemini. All Might, when he's in his prime muscle form, weighs 255 kilos and is around 220 centimeters tall, which is 7'2". To put that into perspective, the world's strongest man for 2018, half for Julius Yosin, and I butchered his name, who also played the Mountain from Game of Thrones, weighs around 200 kg and is around 6'9", 206 centimeters tall. So basically, All Might is a giant and freak, and is not normal and he's not human, man. All Might also has a blood type of A. All Might has a hero agency at some unknown location, as mentioned in episode 5 of the sub. All Might's favorite color is said to be red, which is why his phone color is that, and for his hobbies he's like watching movies, so he seems like a guy I want to hang out with, to be fair. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to smash the notification bell, make sure to hit the like button, let me know in the comment section below what did you think about the video, what mind blowed you the most. Anyway, see you guys next time.